Happy New Year, Southern Part. And further today, I'm also wearing myself. For the story behind, do check all social media platforms. Pumpkin Recycle. Today we shall be talking about the new year. Almost every organism goes into hibernation in winter, and naturally that's what humans are supposed to do too. In the northern and the southern hemisphere, we're not supposed to be celebrating new year at the same time. And everything you do in general in this life thing has to be in accordance with the sun. It's believed that our spiritual forefathers originated from the south, from the Inzalo Elanga, moved upwards along the golden meridian because they believe that this is one of the chakras of the earth. Hello elements, I hope you guys are good. It's a Friday once again. We're back at the park. Today I didn't deliver anything, and the plan for selling another thing has been executed, and apparently we are winning. It's highly possible that I might be able to implement the element era after all. So fingers crossed. I will update you every step of the way as to how this thing is going. But then so far so good. It's happening. It's happening slowly but surely. It's Friday once again. It's the 23rd of September. Happy New Year, Southern Part. Happy New Year. This leads us to today's topic. Oh, before I go any further, today I'm also wearing myself. For the story behind, do check all social media platforms. Pumpkin Recycles for the story behind. But then it has to do with what I'm talking about today. So today we shall be talking about the new year, what it means, and when it's actually celebrated, right? Okay, so apparently this new year concept was brought about in this world to celebrate the blooming and the growing and the coming out of hibernations of plants and animals, right? So the concept of new year is based or related or placed around the dynamics of the sun and the seasons, right? So apparently the going away and the coming back of the sun signalizes new year and the seasons of the year, right? So new year is a concept that signals the blooming, the sprouting, and the coming out of hibernations of organisms, right? The fact that they are coming back from hiding, or they are sprouting new seeds, or they are germinating or coming back to life, symbolizes that everything is starting anew. It's the newness of everything. Everything is coming to life once again from death or hibernation, which is the winter. Almost every organism goes into hibernation in winter, and naturally that's what humans are supposed to do too. But then we've evolved into being active during the whole year for in all the seasons, right? But then naturally we're supposed to be hibernating during the winter and then coming anew in spring towards the summer. right? So this Happy New Year concept is the newness, the appearance, the blooming of everything, right? Hence Happy New Year. So in the northern and the southern hemisphere, we're not supposed to be celebrating New Year at the same time, and it all rolls back to colonialism and slavery. We were fed and given and forced to adopt this calendar, which doesn't resonate with us, mostly in the south. So we ingested it because we were colonized. That's why most of our things will not go according to plan. I'm not saying we're not getting most things just because we're not worshiping the sun. It's not worship per se, but it's aligning your energies with the sun, because more than 70% of your energy is from the sun. Right? So if more energy is from the sun, it means that everything you do in general in this life thing has to be in accordance with the sun, has to be in line with what the sun is doing, right? Do not worship it per se, but go in sync, go hand in hand, flow with the sun, right? Exactly. So if the sun is gone, hibernate, get in touch with your higher self, communicate with your higher self, and nurture your spirituality. And then when the sun comes back, bloom. Execute whatever ideas you were planning during the winter season, during your hibernation. Execute this and this and that. Involve people, mingle with people, right? Because you were hibernating, you were alone during the winter season, hibernating, consulting with your higher self, being alone, meditating, being in touch with your spiritual self, right? And then now the summer or the spring season is back. It's time to go out there and engage with other energies, including the sun, right? So there is this movement by Zinzi Mandela Foundation in South Africa. It celebrates its New Year. They go there from the 21st of September and come back around the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. But they go to a place called Inzalo Yelanga. This place is believed to be where the Adam's calendar was originated by our ancient forefathers, where they studied the sun and followed it as to, okay, when the sun hits this spot, it means that it's the winter season. When it hits this spot, it means it's the summer season. When it hits just like that, and it demarcates day and night and the hours of the day. In fact, it's basically the study of the day and seasons, right? So they go there and actually give thanks to the sun. They do not worship the sun per se. They're just raising their frequency in accordance, in line with the sun, right? Because truth be told, your makeup is 70% energy from the sun. So if your frequency is in the same vibration as that of the sun, you're bound to succeed in everything you do and touch, right? So what I'm trying to say is they go there and try to raise their vibration and mingle, come together. Imagine when people come together, their vibration is raised. The combined energy vibrations raises the frequency. Then the communication between them and the sun is also raised. And apparently, in that area, the EMR frequency or energy is high. And according to scientific findings, the Inzalo Yelanga area is where everything began. Our ancient people started a civilization from there and then moved up the Golden Meridian. There is a meridian, a line from the southern part of Africa up to the northern part of Africa. It's a line that demarcates, it's called a golden meridian. So this line, along this line, there are structures which are pyramids, stones and just those artifacts and spiritual structures along this line. It is believed that our ancient people, our spiritual forefathers, originated from the south, from the Inzalo Yelanga, moved upwards along the Golden Meridian, because they believe that this is where energy is stronger. It's one of the chakras of the earth. It is where these chakras, one of these chakras of the earth is located. And scientific studies prove that this is where this EM free energy is elevated along this Golden Meridian, where these structures and artifacts are found. So it is believed that our ancient spiritual forefathers originated from South Africa at the Inzalo Yelanga and moved upwards along this Golden Meridian up to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, because they are in the same longitudinal line called the Golden Meridian. So it is believed that these structures were left by our spiritual ancient forefathers. But then, since I'm the black sheep. If you've watched more than 3 videos of mine, you already know that I'm the black sheep, right? I always analyze. Whenever I'm given information, I analyze it and bisect it and dissect it until it resonates with my soul, until my higher self says, yes, that's the one. So, when analyzing this thing, I sat down with my higher self, meditated, and came out with a valid answer to these certain artifacts. So, apparently, according to my elementation, go into your own research too. According to my elementation, this meridian is really a high frequency energized golden meridian, right, by the earth. So the earth, this linear demarcation is where our earth, our planet, was more active, vibrationally active during the ancient times. Listen to this. Apparently the earth, before civilization, before overpopulation, before this whole humanity disruptive thing, it used to make sounds, it used to speak, it used to raise its frequency in accordance with the sun, right? So they would communicate with the sun, exchange information and all that. So these artifacts, these structures that are just emerging out of nowhere, was actually the earth. It used to make sounds back in the day, way back, before civilization, before we constructed roads and towers and buildings and these cellular networks and Wi-Fi's and all that is distracting the earth's frequency. Before we're overpopulated and made so much noise, and everything is loud now. Everything is loud and disruptive nowadays. So the earth cannot express itself like it used to in the past. In the past, the earth used to make sound. For example, I'm just making an example. And then structures would emerge, right? So along this line called the Golden Meridian now, it used to be very much active. That's where it used to be very much active in creation. So these structures would emanate, right? So there's Inzalo Yelanga area. That's where these structures, these stones, they just emerge from the ground due to the sounds the earth made in line or in vibration or in the same frequency with the sun. They communicated with the sun and produced these stones, right? So apparently, as these stones emerged, they emerged bit by bit. It wasn't just a boom at a go, right? So they emerged bit by bit. The more they emerged, the sun was also formulating it in line with its own creation, right? So these stones emerged in line with the sounds of the earth and the radiation from the sun. Light and radiation from the sun. I hope it makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. these rocks or structures along these meridian, they just emerge from the earth due to the sounds of the earth and the radiation from the sun. So whatever was created both by the sun and the earth working together. I hope it makes sense. So, and then our forefathers came. They felt drawn to these structures such that they began to study them. They watched them and they studied, and they came to a conclusion that these stones are actually resonating with what the sun is bringing to the earth. So they started worshipping them and raising their energies around them, and then they moved along this golden meridian, leaving civilization behind, villages, structures and all that, because they were moving along this golden meridian or longitudinal chakra of the earth. Not that they created them. That's according to me. Do your own research, right? So happy southern hemisphere new year. They call it the African New Year, but then I'm the black sheep once again. I beg to differ, because Africa is divided into southern and northern hemisphere. You cannot say it's happy African New Year when the northern hemisphere is actually experiencing winter, right? I don't know. Do your own research. But then what I call it the southern hemisphere new year, right? Because the southern part of the world is actually experiencing their blooming, right? So to know more about this thing, I will leave a link down below that transmits to a video that will actually explain more about this thing. But then just watch this trailer of the video so that you're drawn towards it. Just to summarize it, it's already a summarized version because it's a short form. She actually summarized this long concept into just a minimum tiny short video. So it's a very short video with a lot of information. She summarized the whole concept of this Adam calendar and southern hemisphere new year in just less than 10 minutes. So I'll leave the link. Here is the trailer.
Origins of the astrological systems that we use today originally trace back to pre-dynastic Egyptian civilizations, or otherwise known as Kemet. The Louvre Museum in Paris holds the Dendera zodiac that was originally engraved on the ceiling of the entranceway to the sacred temple of Hathor. The Dendera zodiac, or the African calendar, is the foundation of modern day astronomy systems that we all use today. But just the understanding that our calendar across hemispheres is different. It's actually opposite, just so that we stop celebrating the wrong things at the wrong time. For instance, Easter is originally a celebration of the spring equinox. The practices of Easter were intended to align the human body with its natural environment and with the sun. We in the southern hemisphere are completely out of alignment with that. Christmas is originally a celebration of the winter solstice, and we in the southern hemisphere mindlessly celebrate the winter solstice during the summer solstice, singing let it snow during the hottest time of our year. It is hindering our ability to align. We're moving completely against the rhythm of nature, making it so much easier for countries that are in alignment to walk all over us. I really hope that one day we'll stop allowing ourselves to be dragged by the Western perspective, just so that we can start to live in our full potential.
So yes, that's basically what she is talking about. So go check it out. It's a really short video. She's summarizing a whole lecture, a whole 5-hour lecture in less than 10 minutes. So go check it out and then do your own research. Do not, again I repeat, if you're an element, you never take or just receive whatever you're given. You take the concept, acknowledge it, and then go make your own research so that you can come up with a conclusion that resonates with your higher self, right? Just do not be a yes ma'am or yes sir kind of person, right? Question things, draw your own conclusions, and ask if it resonates with your higher self, because that's the main thing you need in this life, right? Being in line with your higher self. Happy New Year, southern parts of the world, and good luck with the winter, northern hemisphere. Love you, elements. Good day.